What's going on, everyone? So, gonna talk today about a little bit of social commentary, just based on what I've been seeing around. I will be getting back to the bills and legislation videos here in the next day or two. Really hectic work schedule the last couple days. So, and I really think what I'm seeing in people is a little bit more important than the made up feel good bills that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is probably never going to get passed. So going to talk a little bit about that today, and the main focus of this is warmongering. So right now, as I'm sure everybody knows, Trump is pulling troops out of Syria, and this has led to Turkey rolling in and attacking the Kurds, right? And it's a really complicated situation. I am in favor of pulling them out. I'm very peace-centric. You know what I mean? I think that Syria is an illegal war. A little bit of backstory about Syria. So Syria kind of comes from this Arab Spring thing that happened back in 2011, which ended up being total bullshit. There was no grassroots uprising against the Syrian regime. It's or Yemen or Libya. Coincidentally, all three places that we are currently engaged in activities, except Libya. We already convinced them to sodomize Gaddafi to death out in the streets, but still in Syria, still helping the Saudis go ahead and commit genocide over in Yemen. That's all fine. So the CIA pumped a literal metric fuck ton, this is a real weight, into the Syrian area, boosting like pro-democracy stuff like that, which normally I'd be very much favorable for. But the whole point was to cause a civil uprising against God. I forget the name right now. But the Syrian dictator caused an uprising against him, and then Saudi Arabia can put in their pipeline to run natural gas up to Europe, allowing them to compete with Russia in the natural gas thing. So naturally, Iran and Russia, which are allies, are backing Syria because Syria said no on the pipeline. So of course we couldn't have that. Had to do one of our good old regime change wars, cause that uprising, and then go ahead and fight in Syria against ISIS, who we helped create by funding in the first place, along with Saudi Arabia, who is also funding ISIS, and that's the Saudi Arabian government, not individual princes like a lot of people like to say. That's the government, right? That came out in the WikiLeaks emails with Hillary Clinton, that the Saudi Arabian government is funding ISIS, our good pals over there. So we're fighting them to fight Assad. That's his name, Assad. To fight Assad, right? So either way, no matter who we're killing, we're helping one of our enemies. It's all crap. It's total BS. It is a ridiculous war. This whole thing came about back in 2012, I think it was, when Barack Obama went ahead and put his red line in the sand, right? Of course, that got crossed. Obama said, you know what, for once, he didn't just go ahead and bomb the place, right, like he did with Yemen. He was so sure that that Congress would go ahead and vote for actual war with Syria, that he didn't utilize the authorization of force for terrorism that they gave Bush. He took it to Congress for a vote, and it got shut down, which was amazing that would even happen nowadays. But yeah, it never even hit the floor to get voted on. So he didn't go in. But then we have all this ISIS stuff. Then we launched a strike in 2017. So that's the backstory of where we're at. And while we were fighting ISIS, we had the Kurds fighting alongside of us. Now the Kurds are an interesting thing because they are a Iranian ethnicity. They're actually stateless actors. They don't act on behalf of any country, but they're trying to create their own little country out of Syria, right, and part of Turkey and Iran, and called Kurdistan, which they all kind of hang out in. Not hang out, but that's where they're from, is this area, but it's not its own state. So that's their prerogative for fighting in this war. They're trying to carve out their own state, and then you have Turkey that doesn't like that they're trying to carve out their own state. Turkey is very complicated with Erdogan and stuff like that. That could constitute its whole own video or 2 or 3. But anyways, they don't like the Kurds, but they weren't going to kill the Kurds because we were there, and of course attacking the United States has never worked out well for anybody. So we were kind of like a stopgap. We had a very small force of soldiers still there that basically acted like a blood pact with Kurds, where if anybody tried to attack them, they would have to kill the soldiers and then drag us involved. Kind of messed up, but it works. We do the same thing in Korea. So anyways, Trump said, no, enough of this. We're getting out of these forever wars. Pulled us out, and Turkey immediately invades and starts killing the Kurds. And that's all it took for every liberal and neocon in the country to join together and hold hands against the evil orange man that is promoting white supremacism and alt-right talking points by wanting peace in the Middle East. The first dude that's actually tried to pull us out of a war since what? Since Clinton? Clinton didn't really pull us out of it. We had Serbia and all that. So God, the first president to try to pull us out of a war in a while, at the very least, right? But it's white supremacism and alt-right talking points to want to pull out of these wars, to get out of Syria. We're still in Afghanistan, man. We went into Afghanistan on the 7th of October, 2001. So 3 days ago, the Afghanistan war turned old enough to walk into an army recruiter's office and enlist to go fight in the Afghanistan war. That's how long we've been there, right? And they can't figure out why Americans want to pull out. You talk to these people that are pro-war, right? Well, what are we doing there? Well, we're there for the Kurds. Okay, well, why'd we go there in the first place? Well, because Assad was a dictator. Okay, well, everybody's a dictator over there. Why aren't we invading everybody? Well, that's not really the point. The thing is, we're already there. Oh, so we should still be there because we're already there. You know what I mean? There's not a good reason to get into these wars. It's always about money and regime change and managing whoever can have the most positive relationship with the United States, and it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It never has. But they love it, man. And I remember back in the day, Democrats were anti-war. Shocking, I know. Before Obama, came in and drug us into 3 more, they were anti-war, right? And even when Obama was drone striking children around the world while he earned his Nobel Prize, they were still anti-war because they were just too ignorant to the fact that he was drone striking innocent civilians. We drone striked 30 innocent nut farmers in Afghanistan the other day, by the way. fantastic. Just think about that. Think if Mexico declared a war on pedophiles, right? We're going to declare the war on pedophiles, right? Everybody hates pedophiles. Everybody can get behind a war on pedophiles. And there's a dude in your neighborhood, right? That's a pedophile. And you've tried to contact the police and everything. Nobody's taking care of it. It's a bad dude. And Mexico drone striked that dude, right? And took out half of your city block with him. Dude, the country would be up in arms. Mexico would be invaded the next day. Why do we think that this is okay? Those nut farmers, right? Totally innocent. The government came out and was like, oh yeah, they were drone striked in a mistake. It was a tactical error. Oops. Right? Dude, I don't care about who's to blame for what anymore. I just want it pulled out. I still have friends that are in the military right now. They're serving that have a risk every day to get sent to go die on some godforsaken mountain range for one of these wars. For what reason? Tell me what the plan is over in Afghanistan. Tell me what it is in Syria. And you know what? Nobody has one. And that's what it boils down to. And all these people that are clamoring, the Democrats are just doing it because Orange Man bad, and everything that Trump does has to be bad, and it can never be good. And all the neocons on the right are doing it because that's what they've always done, because they like to line their pockets with Raytheon money and just keep the war machine going, man. And it needs to end. It's enough. It is enough. So sorry, I know I get a little bit worked up talking about that stuff, but it is so frustrating, man. Fuck, Tulsi Gabbard, you know, the most anti-war candidate. Oh, get us out of Syria, get us out of Syria. Oh, I met with Assad. Democrats are calling her an Assad apologist, but even shit, Orange Man bad. We can't pull the troops out. Their blood is on your hands. Shut the fuck up.